There we go. All right, we're live. Let me give you a brief background on myself so that we're not complete and total strangers. My name's Alan Delaney. I am originally from Newport Beach, California. I currently live in Nashville, Tennessee. And my background includes extensive time in information technology, where I was a chief operations officer for a while for a company called Otis Technologies. We developed software to track assets. Nothing real exciting, but that's what we did. We had some good clients, though. Our clients included Best Buy, Family Dollar, Chick-fil-A, Ralph Lauren, Build-A-Bear Workshops, Lowe's, Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond, Victoria's Secret, and a whole bunch of other high-profile retailers. And basically what we did was we created privately accessible databases. This is an important concept to think about, to track assets for those companies. And the reason I tell you this is because it does give me a little bit of knowledge relating to the tracking of values, both financial and otherwise, presented in the technology that I'm going to share with you this evening. So I want to make a point, all right? And I kind of did a little bit earlier, all right? This is not really a sales seminar. Sure, we'd like you to join our financial revolution, and the financial revolution is sweeping the world. But again, as I said earlier, it is really up to you as to whether or not that is something that you want to do. So not a sales pitch. It is, more of an educational webinar with an emphasis on introducing what I like to refer to as the genesis of something called the Internet of Value. See, when the Internet was first introduced, it served as the Internet of Information. I actually saw a guy call it the Internet of People this morning on a YouTube video that I was watching. And I guess you could say that, the Internet of Information, the Internet of People, basically the Internet was connecting people so they could share information. But then as the technology matured, so did the possibilities of new ways to apply it. And we're now talking about the Internet of Things. Now that's kind of an interesting thing, because you've got these things called MEMS chips that let machines talk to machines, cars drive themselves, all this exciting stuff. But while that is all really starting to come to fruition right now, underlying is a whole brand new Internet, and I think it's the most exciting Internet. And that is the Internet of Value, being able to manage values on something called a blockchain, which is a distributed database, and that's something we're going to talk about. It's still in its infancy, and that's why we're here, is to educate you on the future of what we feel is the banking, money transfer, remittance services, smart contracts. Really, it's infinite as to what can go down with this new deal. And here's the good news. As with any new emerging technology, especially disruptive ones like this, if you are looking at the clues, many of which I hope to share with you this evening, you can position yourself for financial gain. And I don't know about you, but my wallet's never been fat enough, so I like that. So here's what I'm going to do. I want to set the table for you. I want to kind of set a context of what we're talking about. So I'm going to take us back in time just a little bit. See, we all understand the Internet today. But it really wasn't that long ago, I mean, honestly, early 90s, that very few people understood what the Internet was. So I think this next little short video kind of sets the stage for our conversation this evening. So take a look at this.
I wasn't prepared to translate that as I was doing that little tease.
Oh, that's
that little
right.
mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At.
See, that's what I said. Kay said she thought it was about.
Yeah. Oh.
But I've never heard it.
Around.
I've never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark, but never heard it said. And then it sounded stupid when I said it. Violence at NBC.
I heard it around or about in the lunchroom the other week.
There it is. Violence at NBC. GE.com. I mean,
well, Allison should know.
What is Internet anyway?
Internet is that massive computer network, the one that's becoming really big now.
What do you mean? That's big? How does one? What do you write to it like mail?
No, a lot of people use it and communicate. I guess they can communicate with NBC writers and producers. Allison, can you explain what Internet is?
Pretty amazing, but that is where the level of understanding was for almost all of society just a few short years ago. So now I think I can say without any fear of contradiction that everyone on this webinar uses the Internet in some way every single day, because the Internet has just become ubiquitous. I mean, it's a part of what we do, but it wasn't always like that. So here's the truth about truth, all right? All truths, Internet included, what I'm going to share with you here tonight included, Heck, our past presidential election even falls into this, right? All truth passes through 3 stages. What are they? Well, the first stage is it's ridiculed, right? It's like, that can't be right. I mean, that's never going to work. The Wright brothers, for example, we're going to fly like a bird. No, you're not. You're going to crash to the ground and die, right? It's ridiculed. That's the first stage. Because why? Because people, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, I mean this as the word is, people are ignorant to the new technologies. Listen, if everybody could be Albert Einstein, we'd have a different world, but they can't. Not a lot of people are imaginative in the ways that they need to be to think of, hey, gee whiz, let's create a plane and let's go fly, right? But thank God those people exist. So their ideas get ridiculed because simple minds don't see it the way they do, right? Secondly, it's violently opposed. Oh my gosh, it may be real, but boy, I don't know anything about it. So holy smokes, I'm just going to bash it. All right. I'm just going to bash it. I'm going to make it ugly. This is kind of where we are and what we're going to talk about tonight. But there's a lot of things that have gone through the second stage of truth to finally make it to this third stage of truth. And that's that it's accepted as being self-evident. It's just the truth. All right. We get on planes every day all over the world. All right. It was ridiculed. It was opposed because it wasn't safe. And now it's just the truth. And all truths pass through these 3 stages. And here's a section of that right here. This guy, Clifford Stoll, brilliant computer scientist. He's got all that high-end computer gear that you see back in the day, right, sitting there behind him, and an orb because it just matches his hair or something. I'm not sure. But he published an article in Newsweek in 1995, right after that video, Why the Internet Will Fail. It can never be used as commerce. Why? Because there aren't any salespeople on the internet. In other words, if there aren't salespeople, people are incapable of making buying decisions on their own. Hashtag, I couldn't be more wrong. All right, let's talk about Amazon, for example. Look, there's more commerce done on the internet now than Mr. Stoll could have ever imagined, but that's okay. He took a position. It was just wrong. There's a lot of wrong positions out there. So let's think for just a second. How many of these emerging technologies and great new ideas have influenced your life that you don't even think about anymore? Why? Because again, they have become ubiquitous. It's just a part of our life. They're very pervasive. These things didn't even exist just a few short years ago. If you really sat down with a piece of paper and wrote them down, it would be stunning. You see, my daughter, who is 23 years old, has never known a life without a cell phone. She's never known a life without a channel changer. She's never known a life without a cable box, a DVR. The list goes on and on and on. 4-wheel disc brakes, for crying out loud, right? Crazy. There's a lot of things that are out there. So we're just going to touch on a few of them. On August 1st, 1991, computer scientist, British guy, Tim Berners-Lee, he invented what most of us think is the internet, but he actually invented a protocol called the World Wide Web, or the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And here's what he had to say about it. The web, as I envisioned it, well, we haven't seen it yet. The future is still so much bigger than the past. See, that's a bright guy looking forward, imagining things that most of us can't think of. Thank goodness for these types of people. In July 1994, July 5th, Jeff Bezos comes up with Amazon. All right, Amazon is massive. They outsell Walmart by I don't know how much. Okay, this is the guy, Clifford Stoll. He says you'll never be able to sell anything on the internet. No, sorry, that's not the truth. How about Google? September 4th, 1998. These two fellas, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, right? They're taking graduate classes at Stanford. They start a search algorithm. Important word, algorithm. They start one called Backrub. It becomes so popular because the results it returns are so much better than anything that's out there that soon the servers at the whole university can't handle it anymore. And well, Google was born right out of that. And you know how much we use that thing here today. How about Facebook, February 4th, 2004, Mark Zuckerberg, right? Starts out what was meant to be a little social platform for students to be able to communicate back and forth. Do you realize that if Facebook were a nation by way of membership or population, if you will, that they would be the 3rd largest nation in the world? Gigantic. So much money. All right. And of course, we can't talk about disruptive technologies and new technologies that have absolutely changed the way that we do things than when Steve Jobs in 2007 challenged his engineers to come up with something called a touch screen. That was the beginning of what is now known as a mobile computing platform, otherwise referred to as a touchscreen phone. But it's so much more than that, isn't it? Listen, do many of you know that you have location services on your phone, and there's a satellite that's watching all of us right now? If you have that turned on, it can totally pinpoint where you're at. That's not a phone. All right, it's so much more than a phone. The possibilities, again, are infinite. If you use your Google Wallet, or I use Apple Pay, you know, again, I don't even have to carry any of my cards anymore. It's fantastic. This is so much more than a phone. Movies, videos, taking, pictures. It's crazy. So these are the kind of things that I'm talking about when I talk about this. Now, all of these things have a couple of things in common. First of all, they're all digital, and they're all disrupting the way that we do things. For example, there was a postage stamp at one time. All right. Now there's email. It's digital. It's more efficient. It's faster. You can get mail across the world in a matter of a couple of mouse clicks to multiple people at one time. You can market through it. Good Lord, we know about the junk mail. It's, again, digital and disruptive. What about Blockbuster? Blockbuster didn't see the writing on the wall, but you know who did? Netflix. Again, digital content delivered through the internet. There was a time when Netflix, people didn't believe that people would be able to stream because of bandwidth, you know, the type of streaming that we see today in movies, but it happens, right? Netflix took a risk. Again, keep that thought on the forefront of your mind. They took a risk. Now, is there a Blockbuster anywhere that anybody can tell me about? No. Now they're known as Blockbusted. Okay, how about this? When was the last time you let your fingers do the walking? Never. I don't even know why they make these things anymore. Even my mom, who's 87, can use the internet to look things up with what? Google. All right, Google isn't just a search engine. It's actually a verb. It's an action word, because we don't say, oh, why don't you go search that out on the internet? What do we say? We Google it. Hey, go Google that. Hey, what does Google say? What'd you find on Google, right? So that's what we do. And of course, the old rotary dial phone was replaced by the mobile computing platform, otherwise known as the iPhone, Android, and so on and so forth. Again, all these things went from the old way to the new way. They're all digital, and they're all disruptive. So this is key. Disruption is essential to innovation. All right, if we're going to move forward in any way, it's going to disrupt the old way. And for some, change is a little uncomfortable. I get it. All right, but if it's here and it's coming, you might as well go ahead and embrace it, because soon, what's it going to be? It's going to be in your life, whether you want it to be or not. So we're going to talk about the most disruptive technology that's out there right now, I think. And we're going to be talking about changing the banking and finance industry. Why? Because the banking and finance industry is antiquated. Basically, it's a fossil. It doesn't work, and that's why fiat currencies around the world are folding up like a house of cards. Okay, traditional banking is facing many challenges. What are some of them? First of all, they're not delivering the level of service that customers are expecting, right? Especially in regards to technology. Sure, there's online banking, big whoop, all right? How about regulatory requirements? Regulation after regulation. That's not their fault, but it's true. And these requirements are causing them to spend unbelievable amounts of money in their discretionary budgets, which that gets passed through the customer in larger banking fees, more money to transact, that kind of stuff. To build processes to keep up with the escalating requirements by their customer base. And an overall dissatisfaction with the abusive fees. We just talked about that. All right. Overdrafts, $35. Really? You might have a savings account and a checking account right next to it. One might have 10 grand in it, and you accidentally wrote a check that might have went past your limit, and it costs $35. You got to be joking me. Okay. Monthly maintenance fees, transfer fees, and all kinds of other fees are at an all-time high. But the number one reason is that smaller companies can make changes and deal with the inefficiencies faster than the big banks can. These are called fintech companies or financial technology companies. They are becoming increasingly popular, and they're disrupting, there's that word again, the way traditional banking has been done. And this is a huge challenge for traditional banks because they're behemoths, they're titanics. They don't turn fast, they don't stop, they don't do anything fast. They don't adopt change well, all right? And that's okay. They just need to be replaced. So I want to turn you on to somebody named Catherine Besant, right? She's the chief operations officer for one of those big banks. Now, honestly, at the time this interview was taken, she really didn't even know what was going on and how Bank of America would adopt. She just saw the trend, all right? That's a clue. And she's taken advantage of that for her company because that's her job by filing over 35 patents on blockchain and cryptocurrency technology. Let's listen to what she has to say.
How infant are you on blockchain?
Well, blockchain is very intriguing, and for us, it's a balance between not wanting to be Neanderthal, but not wanting to put something out in a commercial application where the commercial application is still very unclear. As a technologist, the technology is fascinating, and we have tried to stay on the forefront. I think we have somewhere around 15 patents. Most people would be surprised. A Bank of America with patents in the blockchain or cryptocurrency space. Very important in the intellectual property world to reserve our spot even before we know what the commercial application might be. So very intrigued technologically, but what's the commercial application?
Some blockchain developers are skeptical. They say actually big business don't understand what we're doing. They don't understand the practical applications. And as you say, you're kind of getting in there early. You've got your hands on it, even if you don't understand actually what you have your hands on.
Well, the first definition of a Neanderthal is denial, right? So the whole idea would be not to start from that perspective.
All right, guys, listen, I said 35, she said 15, and the truth is that's what they filed in the beginning. They filed an additional 20. So it is, in fact, 35. Some of them are pending. But did you hear what she said? We don't want to be a Neanderthal. We don't even know what we're going to use it for. We understand that it's coming. We want to be positioned correctly. Guys, if you listen to what she's saying, the roadmap is before you. Look at the players: Goldman Sachs, Barclays, UBS, Bank of England, Citigroup, Fidelity Investments. The list goes on and on and on. They've even created a consortium that includes people like Toyota Finance and all kinds of different companies that are going to take advantage of what we're sharing here with you tonight in some form, fashion, or another. So why is there so much interest in this new idea? And, oh, by the way, what is the idea? Well, we're talking about blockchains. We're talking about the new money, the people's money as it's referred to, or cryptocurrency. Well, here's why there's interest. Because it's the solution to a problem. There's over 2.3 billion people without banking services in the world. You're kidding me. 2.3 billion? No. And here's the reason why. The Global Findex database, which you can look up or you can Google it, all right, will tell you why. Lack of enough money to use an account. Listen, if you don't have a lot of money, why would you want to put it in the bank anyways? It's just going to get sucked dry by fees, right? Or the distance to get to the financial institution simply is not convenient. You're like, well, pick a closer branch. Some people don't have that luxury. For example, my very own bank is 19 miles from my home. It's not I love the bank, but it's certainly not the most convenient bank for me to use, all right? Prohibitive costs, we've talked about that, and an overall lack of trust in the system and the way that our fiat currencies have been devalued by central authorities like the Federal Reserve banking system, which, by the way, is not federal at all. That's just a name. It's not a branch of government in any way, shape, or form. It's a privately owned banking cartel called the Federal Reserve, and they just so control the printing of money, right? Or our governments, they've broken the promise not to overprint money. Can anybody say 2008 bailouts? All kinds of bailouts. They go back years and years and years, and they're printing money out of thin air, which makes our dollar worth less and less every time they do it. Because why? It's backed by nothing. All right. So why should you care about that, or why should you pay attention? Well, because you work hard and you want your dollars to be worth more, not less, right? These two guys, Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, co-founders of the largest Bitcoin exchange, something we're going to talk about in a minute, called the Gemini Exchange. They also had a little something to do with Facebook in the early days. This is what they have to say about these technologies. It's the smartest people in the room that are most excited about this. So what are they seeing? Okay, this is a brilliant question, right? It's cause and effect. What are the smart people doing? Those that are leaving the clues, those people that are moving towards the new technology, not running from it or trying not to understand it. What are they seeing? Let's take a look. All right, here's a smart guy, Sir Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Everything Group, right? Virgin Airways, Virgin Atlantic Airways, Virgin Galactica, Virgin this, that, and the other thing. I mean, this guy's got, record companies, movie producing, rocket ships, airplanes, you name it. He says it feels strange to think of a world without cash, no more notes or coins to find down the back of a sofa, but it appears that's the way things are heading. All right, smart guy, leaving a clue. How about this guy? He knows a thing or two. Former Federal Reserve Chairman. That means that he ran one of the Federal Reserves or was at least the chairman of all of them. He says virtual currencies, that's what we're talking about, digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, virtual currencies, may hold long-term promise, particularly if the innovations promote a faster, more secure, and more efficient payment system. Does anybody remember when Target got hacked? That was because of banks, not because of the monetary system. So yes, it is more secure. It is more efficient. It's all those things. So this guy knows what he's talking about. What about Bill Gates, my favorite, founder of Microsoft? In the future, this is a very specific statement, by the way, in the future, financial transactions will. That's the specific word. Not might, not maybe, not could be, not any of that. They will be digital. Heck, folks, I don't even know when the last time was that I actually carried a bill in my wallet unless I was going on vacation and I needed some tip money. And soon you won't even need that. All right, and I'm going to show you something in a second that's going to absolutely blow your mind. But again, Bill Gates, in the future, financial transactions will be digital, universal, and almost free. Now, so far, I've shown you a ton of clues. So far, I've shown you a trend. So far, I'm trying to put you on the right path here. But this is going to blow your mind. All right. How about countries that are going completely cashless? Sweden is down to just 3% of its national economy being spent in dollar bills, in coins and paper money. It's all digital. Kenya has 19 million subscribers to a cashless payment system called M-Pesa that Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook is trying to buy. All right. Crazy. Now, here's the one that I like the most. Canada is stepping up, all right? BA International, which is in Quebec, Canada, and one of their main printers of currency, all right? As of January 1st, 2013, they haven't printed any more Canadian currency. As a matter of fact, the Canadian Mint has been hard at work. I've got a short video here I want you to listen to.
Ever since the beginning of time, people have been buying and selling and using whatever currency was available. But today's digital economy is changing faster than ever, and currency has to change too. It is. Introducing Mint Chip from the Royal Canadian Mint, the evolution of currency. Money, as we know it, is fine for today, but tomorrow is a different story. Imagine a whole new breed of transactions that are smaller, faster, and virtually everywhere. That's where Mint Chip comes in. Mint Chip is currency in a digital form. Using a chip, you securely load value onto a smartphone, USB device, computer, tablet, or cloud. Maybe even some future device that doesn't even exist yet. Now you're ready to go. It's so easy that even a child can use it, especially for their allowance. Mint Chip is better than cash since you can use it online. And merchants will easily and cost-effectively be able to offer digital content in the form of small and extremely small online transactions. Things like buying a song, a news article, or a nifty glow-in-the-dark laser for your favorite online game character. All for a few pennies, virtual of course. Plus, no personal data is required or exchanged, whether you're buying a decaf latte, a Canadian history article for school, or paying back that $10 you borrowed last week. Mint Chip is harnessing some of North America's best brain power. We are changing the future. You can too. Mint Chip from the Royal Canadian Mint. The evolution of currency.
Guys, that is mind-blowing, all right? Look, this isn't just some guy sitting in Omaha, Nebraska telling you that this idea is coming. It is here. Okay, it is here. Try to put yourself, try to get yourself in front of this technology. Please don't miss out on what is coming, and it's coming in a lot of different flavors. That's just one of them. So why is this new digital currency being embraced by governments, by, you know, like the Canadian government and all the others? I mean, there's an e-dollar being worked on in the United States. Why is it a better way? Well, number one, it is exactly what we're talking about. It's more secure. You see, cryptocurrency stands for cryptographically protected money. All right, it's hacker-proof basically, and there's no way to tell what you're hacking when you're looking at a hashed number. The guy might spend all day or all year trying to hack something and find out it's worth a penny. It's simply just not worth people's time. There is only a fixed amount of it. Why is this important? We just talked about hyperinflation. Listen, if digital currency, which is driven by math, all right, and is a fixed amount, in other words, you cannot expand the supply at will, all right, was in place, there would have been no bailouts in 2008. Oh my gosh, Alan, that could have ruined the economy. Yes, it could, but I would submit to you this. We probably wouldn't have found ourselves where we were with all the stuff that went on in 2008 if we had a fixed amount of currency and we knew what we were dealing with. It's counterfeit proof. This isn't like a file like an MP3 that you can copy. It cannot be copied. And there are negligible fees, and that's hugely important, and it's simply more efficient in a digitally evolving economy. Now, if I didn't show you how the world has evolved digitally, you can go ahead and clock out right now on this webinar because I missed the point, but I'm just telling you, this is the way things are going. Look at that last video I just showed you from the Canadian Mint. Holy smokes. So what exactly is a blockchain, and what is this stuff called cryptocurrency? So before I can answer those questions, a short history lesson on money, right? Way back in the day, we used to, you know, travel around with saddlebags or whatever full of precious metals, gold and silver. Not real convenient to chip off a chunk of your gold nugget to pay for your whiskey dry, right? Okay, what about this? We changed it up to paper, coin, and money. A little bit more convenient, more manageable, certainly lighter, and you didn't have to be chipping stuff off. All right, from there, it started to go digital. Credit cards and debit cards are a form of digital currency, aren't they? Because when you use a credit card, you're not reaching into your pocket and pulling out a $100 bill or what have you. You are simply adjusting digital numbers on a digital ledger in, you know, at a company that's databases are protected, but they exist on a digital network. That's how that works. There is no money that ever changes hands. Not even when you pay the bill. All you're doing is telling your bank either through a paper check to send them some money digitally, all right, or you're telling them, you know, I mean, or you're using online banking or something like that. How about this? Online payment systems are the next step. PayPal, Pop Money, RocketPay, Venmo, Facebook, and Facebook trying to get involved in a cashless payment system called M-Pesa. From there, we go to the thing that I love. All right, digital wallets, Apple Pay, Google Wallet, Samsung Pay, Android Pay, which isn't pictured here, also exists. This is great stuff. All right, all these last three things, they have one thing in common, a couple things in common, but the main thing is they are still connected to the traditional banking and finance industry. They're still a part of your bank, right? So the next evolution is to break away from that. Look at cell division, right? It's like one just completely breaks away from the other. And that's where we get cryptocurrency. Holy smokes, Alan, that's not tied to my bank? No, it stands on its own. All right, and I'm going to show you exactly how that works. Okay, so the very first cryptocurrency was created October 31st, 2008 by a guy named Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, that was a pseudonym, all right? We didn't know if it was a guy, a girl, a group of guys and girls. Nobody knew. But this guy released a 7-page white paper October 31st of 2008 that I'm sure at the time he knew he was solving an issue. It's called the double spend issue, but I'm not so sure that he would think that his invention of the blockchain would become the next big thing on the internet. So Bitcoin, this is the lovely thing about cryptocurrencies, right? This is just one of many, hundreds actually, if not thousands, and they all kind of have a different place. That's why they can exist alongside each other, just like the pound, the British pound, or the US dollar, or whatever it is, whatever fiat currencies out there, right? There's not just one, there's many. Okay, but their idea was to issue currency according to that fixed set of rules. That's what makes it so cool. Now, that part of it has been adopted by most other cryptocurrencies, but the idea here was to create money whose value could not be manipulated by a central authority. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, like I touched on earlier, no Federal Reserve Bank, no US government, no central authority to be able to control that money. So Bitcoin was created. How is it created? Well, it's created by something called an SOW, a POW or a POS, a proof of work or proof of I think POS is proof of stamp or something like that. I can't remember exactly. For all you aficionados out there of Bitcoin, I apologize. Proof of stake is what it's called. I knew it would come to me. I'm having an old man moment. But that's how it's created, right? You've got these very efficient hashing algorithms that go through and make trillions of calculations per second trying to solve a fixed set of math problems. And when the right answer is found and one block is chained to the next block in that in the blockchain, the actual distributed database, or the private blockchains, which are not necessarily distributed but still a blockchain nonetheless, that's when cryptocurrency is created, when that correct math problem is solved. When all the math problems have been solved that were set up by the computer programmers, then that's it. There will be no more currency. So it's mined like gold with a specific purpose of it becoming more scarce as time goes on. You see, why is that important? Well, if we could walk out on our front lawn, pick up diamonds and gold, would they hold the appeal or the value that they do today? No. It is scarce stuff, hard to come by, right? A lot of blood, sweat, and tears goes into finding it. All right, same thing for cryptocurrency. And this is the reason why just one person cannot own it all. And this is why the process is referred to as mining. Because as time goes on and more people join the mining pools or run a piece of server software or a digital wallet like Peercoin, Litecoin, or whatever on their computers, they become part of that proof of work or proof of stake system. And cryptocurrency starts to get harder and harder to find because you got more people looking for it. So you have this thing called the difficulty factor. The more people, the more difficult. It's like this. If one or two of us walked into a gold mine and we were able to mine that mine for a full year with our pickaxes, well, it'd be pretty easy for all the gold that was found to be split between the two of us, right? Pretty simple. But if there were hundreds, if not thousands of people in that same mine with those pickaxes, our share of what was found would be, well, a whole lot smaller, wouldn't it? Much more difficult to find. That's exactly the way cryptocurrency is programmed at the onset. That's what is part of what drives its value. So here's what I'm talking about. In 2009, a single Bitcoin was valued at just 10 cents, right? 2009, remember it came out earlier than that, but that's what it was valued at then, 10 cents. Okay, more and more people started joining the mining pools, and they mined more coins, and a number of other reasons made the coin just absolutely skyrocket in value, all right? Just by November 2013, the coin peaked out at $1,242.03. There's that fat wallet I was talking about, right? 10 cents to 1,200. What if you had, I don't know, 10,000 of those? 10,000 at 10 cents a piece? Now they're worth $1,242 a pop. That's why so many people got wealthy with this idea. Now listen, not everybody got wealthy, all right? But those that were paying attention did. I knew about Bitcoin then. I was in the software world at that time, and I just didn't take advantage of it. Something I'll regret and probably take to my grave. So I wasn't going to miss the next opportunity when other cryptocurrencies started coming out. But here's someone who did take advantage of it. This guy's name is Jared Kenna. He served in the U.S. military. His tours were in Afghanistan, and he also served in Chile. He first purchased his Bitcoins for about 20 cents a pop. Why did he even buy them? Because he was in countries where banking wasn't all that prevalent like it is in the U.S. He saw how difficult it was to move money from one place to the other. He saw how expensive it was. He saw how insecure it was. He saw all those things. So he thought, wow, this idea is a really good idea. So he purchases his Bitcoins at 20 cents a pop. spent $1,000, 1,000 US dollars. He traded those for approximately 258 bucks a pop. 20 cents to 258 was a profit of $1.29 million. That's a huge chunk of money. He went on to, he didn't stop there. He founded a company called TradeHill.com, the second largest Bitcoin exchange on the planet. Okay, and he also founded something called 20 Mission, which is a San Francisco think tank for some of the brighter minds out there that are trying to develop cryptocurrencies or ideas on the blockchain or just any new emerging technology. Really kind of cool. So there are literally hundreds of cryptocurrencies to choose from. So someone has to be asking themselves, well, you know, how do I sort them out? Which one's the best for me? What can I afford? Where do I stand to gain the most? Where can I spend my cryptocurrency? Who has the greatest number of merchants for me to be able to use this new currency and all this kind of stuff? We believe that there is a clear emerging leader in this way, and that's the coin that we're going to talk about today, and that is OneCoin, presented to you by the One Life Network. Why is it that way? Well, you see, people try, when a great idea comes out, and let's face it, Bitcoin was an amazing idea and has garnered some of the brightest minds in the computer programming world to contribute to it, to help it grow, to set precedent for other coins and all kinds of stuff, Ethereum, all that great stuff that's out there, right? Someone is always trying to take the first idea and build a better mousetrap. Now, some people will agree with the way that we're doing it. Some people will disagree. But that's the way the world goes, doesn't it? I'm going to share with you why we think it's so great. First of all, we are very transparent. This is our owner. She steps right out front. She represents. Her name is Dr. Ruja Ignatova. She was born in Sofia, Bulgaria, raised in Germany. She's married to a German attorney, very bright lady. She was Businesswoman of the Year a couple of times in her home country of Bulgaria. She also is a member of the Mensa Society, so she's got one of these off-the-chart IQ brains, right? She got a law degree from Oxford University, all right, loves London, loves to be there. Master's degree in economics from Constance University, PhD in law from the University of Oxford and Constance. She wrote a thesis on corporate litigation within the European Union, and on and on and on. She was a former associate partner with McKinsey and Company, who was just in the news the other day talking about these MEMS chips that are coming out to help cars drive themselves and everything else. She's a former CEO and CFO of one of the biggest asset management funds in Bulgaria, managing over 250 million euro assets under her belt. So to say she knows a little bit about money is an understatement, right? That's what the Economist magazine thought. So they invited her to be a keynote speaker on October 14th and 15th of 2015 in her home country and her home city of Sofia, Bulgaria. And look at the people that she spoke to and with. And this is a short list of about 35 amazing people. Look, here's the point, guys. She has been completely vetted, 100% legit, 100% knowledgeable about her subject matter, to be allowed to speak to former prime ministers of Sweden, for them to look to her for information about transactions and where money's going and all this kind of stuff, speaks volumes about the lady. Magdalena Kuneva, Deputy Prime Minister for European Policies, Coordination and Institutional Affairs for a country. Nikos Kabanopoulos, this guy works for Visa. He's a general manager for countries. Again, you think he knows a few things about transacting. These people are relying on the keynote speakers at the Economist events in order to give them the latest and greatest news about what's going on around the world. She also appeared on Forbes Brand Voice, which is an ad, a paid-for advertisement, about anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000. Okay, but it still says Forbes on the cover, doesn't it? Now, granted, Forbes didn't chase her down and say, would you like to be on the cover of our magazine? No one is suggesting that. We contacted them, or she did, and she went through the entire vetting process to be able to be qualified to give them her $300,000 so that she could take advantage of the audience credibility and the results that that would bring. Point is, no Joe Schmo off the street can get on this, even if he does have 300 grand. But most recently, she appeared on the cover of Financial IT magazine, right? Revolutionizing the financial markets was the head of it, Dr. Ruja Ignatova, founder of OneCoin and now the One Life Network. Again, Financial IT magazine is not a rag that you're going to find around the house, right? It's an industry magazine that covers the latest trends in payments, cash management, transactions, fees, and all that kind of stuff. The interview was conducted by Chris Principe, the publisher of the magazine, who, by the way, when he conducted the interview, was not necessarily in our court. Again, remember back what I said. Some people are going to like the way we're going about this. Others are going to question it. Listen, it's a system of checks and balances. We appreciate those who question it. It's fine. No need to bash it. No need to be negative. Just don't play, right? Just don't play. Don't wreck it for others if that's your take. There's no reason to do that, all right? We appreciate the fact that you don't agree. That's why we have the type of system that we have in this country, right? A lot of people didn't agree last Tuesday, did they? But here's what Chris Principe had to say after, and this quote is right out of this magazine. By the way, you can go to financialit.net and you can get your very own copy there. Here's what he had to say. OneCoin is leading the charge of acquiring the masses. Do you think that's important? What did I just say? There's a billion different coins out there, or hundreds anyways, right? Which one has the most merchants? Which one has the most usability? Where do I make the best decision for myself since these are cross-border usable? All right? OneCoin is leading the charge of acquiring the masses into the cryptocurrency shift across the globe. We're not causing the shift, guys. We're just doing a good job at getting a bunch of eyeballs, kind of like Facebook did. They're doing an amazing job at taking what normally is the complicated idea of cryptocurrency and making it ultra simple. Is that important for the masses to adopt anything, right? Of course it is. We're making it ultra simple and easy to understand so anyone can get involved and profit from it. There's that fat wallet again. Even major universities see the future. Duke, University of Maryland, Princeton, MIT, NYU, Stanford. The list goes on and on. There's even a school in Cyprus that accepts cryptocurrency as a form of tuition payment. All right, these guys are offering classes anywhere from $13,000 to $18,000 US dollars to be able to learn about it. Well, why? Well, because it's our youth this is how they're going to spend money. This is how it's going to take place. And if you position yourself correctly, you'll be able to set yourself up and create generational wealth for your families. I truly believe that with all my heart. Education is the One Life Network's product. Why? Because you have to be able to understand this, because when a confused mind is a locked mind, right? Would everybody agree with that? We're available in 231 countries, 1.7 million students, 20 languages, 1,800 minutes of video, and 18 individual trainings. You can see some of our products on the right side, right? Well, Alan, I don't even like to read. I don't want education. Look, there's more to it than just that. I'm going to touch on that right now. What do you get with your membership? Well, you get access to the One Life Network websites and many others. The OneCoin site to learn about the coin, the One Academy learning system. You also get a cryptocurrency exchange, a brand spanking new one called XCoinX. And you have state-of-the-art software that manages all this stuff. So that's what you get with your membership. We have a valued coin that continues to trend upward. Now, there's no price guarantee implied here. This is for illustration purposes only. I need to make that perfectly clear. None of you should be looking at this as an investment. You should all be looking at it as becoming part of a mining pool that is giving birth to a new currency. Now, if it happens to go up in value and you own some of it, hallelujah. My wife and I got started when this currency was valued at $1.78. It is now at $7.78, and I have on the magnitude of 750,000 of these coins. Now, if that sticks, I'm a happy guy. Let's say it dropped all the way back down to, I don't know, 220. Am I still happy? Absolutely. All right? Absolutely. So, I'm about ready to bring this plane in for a landing. I've been talking for a while. I'm starting to lose my voice. But listen, one more thing, all right? Or a couple more things, actually. The time to get started with us is now. And there's many, many reasons that I'm not going to touch on them here. But whoever invited you to this information, please get back with them and do not procrastinate. Okay, procrastination never got anybody anything except in trouble, right? This is one of our most popular educational packages. It's called a Tycoon Plus. There's a lot of reasons why it's popular. It's a mere 7,500 euro. Not a lot of money. Not a lot of money, all right? Why is it popular? It contains 5 of our One Academy educational modules. Okay, what are those, all right? Well, you're going to learn about cryptocurrency, but you're also going to learn about other financial markets, how to move money, trade money, treat money, how to spot trends, all kinds of different things, all right? It also contains 81,818 promotional tokens. Now, I'm going to park here for a minute. What in the world? Are we talking Chuck E. Cheese here? Tokens? What is all this stuff? All right. Well, listen, tokens or mining credits, as some people refer to them as, are given to you absolutely free by the company. That's right. I said free. It's a promotional bonus. All right. They don't sell these things inside these packages. You are purchasing an educational package, which gets you all those websites that I just showed you. But the coup de grace is the promotional tokens that the company gives you for free, or the mining credits. You're going to submit these to mining, and guess what you're going to get? You are going to be in a mining pool that is going to generate your very own digital assets or OneCoins for your own digital wallet to be used any way that you see fit down the road when they come out of mining and out of escrow. Very exciting stuff. All right. This also includes our exclusive auto mining feature. So really it's a, set it and forget it. Once you submit them to mining, everything else is taken care of for you. So again, there's what Chris Principe was talking about, taking the very complicated idea of cryptocurrency and making it ultra simple to use. I think we've done that here. And this package provides an optimized trading experience for you. In other words, the yield of coin is going to be greater than just about any other package that we have. So that's what's exciting about this package. Now, what is this screen? Just blank. Why did I put this in here? Because that's how you're going to feel if you don't take advantage of this and down the road, it all works out. You see, one of my friends said to me, he's like, man, dude, you're over the top about this stuff. What if it doesn't work out? What if you lose the money that you have put into this idea? Well, I said, what if is a really powerful phrase. What if? I said, listen, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? Because I believe this, all right? If you're not willing to take a risk in life, then you'll always be working for somebody who was willing to take a risk. And that's just not my personality. I understand that some of you, that is going to be your decision, and we're perfectly okay with that, all right? The next time your friend calls you, don't avoid their call. Answer the phone, right? But here's the truth, all right? Many of you are going to do something that I hate. So I want to introduce you to a friend of no one. This is Billy the Blogger, friend of nobody. All right, self-proclaimed crusader, here to save the world from everything bad, right? And the sad part is that you've got a good friend that brought you to the table here who you've trusted in every other way in your life, except you're going to go out and do something crazy. You're going to trust this guy who you don't even know. Well, let me tell you what Billy the Blogger's motto is, right? This is how it works. All right, I used to blog. I know. Number one, you find the hottest topics on the internet that you can find. And folks, cryptocurrency is one of those. And certainly OneCoin is in the news all the time. We are the fastest growing networking company. Our coin has gone crazy. We have 2.7 million members. We're a hot topic. So Billy's looking for us. Okay. Then he's going to find the highest traffic websites concerning this topic on the web. Look, there's a site out there called Alexa.com. We are currently rated about 5,700th of every website on the planet. And that is up about 5,500 spots from just a year ago. We are a hot topic. So we're going to drive a lot of eyes. That means we're being searched more than any other type of site. Well, not 5,700 others, but you get the message that I'm saying here. So that's his second thing in his motto. And then, well, Billy's going to give his opinion to people in violent opposition, regardless of fact. Remember the 3 stages of truth, folks. All right. And this is where we are right now. This guy could care less about you. Trust me when I tell you that your friend cares a whole lot more. All right, so after he does that, he's going to sell his services, products, and advertising to his audience. And then he's going to do it all over again. Look for another article to write, a way to throw you off your game. Please, I beg of you, not to look at some blog of some dude or woman or some group that you don't even know and place your trust there. Look, don't trust Billy. Trust yourself, trust your instincts, and trust the friend that brought you here. I appreciate everybody's time tonight. Thanks for watching. I hope I've given you a good presentation that allows you to make decisions on your own. Do not be a follower. Be a critical thinker. Make your own mind up. All right? Thanks for watching. Good night.